So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Should you buy iPhone 11 Pro or Pro Max now? It's been about 8 months or so. It's June and it's almost iPhone 12 season, but these are still for sale and people are actually still buying these devices. But you know, these phones haven't really come down in price point. A lot of new budget phones are launching. A lot of even cheaper iPhones have launched. We had like the iPhone SE coming out, for example. So, you know, other phones are coming down and these still remain at the premium tier. So the question is, should I just get one of these or should I just wait for the iPhone 12? Now, these two right here still demand around $1,000 or so. And if you look third party, you could get it a little bit discounted, but you can also do trade-ins to get these as well. So as I go on throughout this video, I'm going to talk about this in terms of waiting for iPhone 12, for example, when we're talking about if these are worth it right now. So the design language of the iPhone 11 Pro still features a very similar design language as the iPhone 10, and the 11 Pro features a similar design language as the 10s Max, but these devices do have a matte feel on the back. They're still some of the most premium feeling devices in the industry and still feel like $1,000,000 in your hand when you are holding them. The 11 Pro is a little bit more comfortable in size. The 11 Pro Max has got that heft, that premium feel as well, but both of them still feel very good with their stainless steel edges around the side. So yeah, when it comes to how they feel in the hand, they're definitely still worth it. But again, if you want the squared off edges, a lot of rumors are pointing towards the iPhone 12 having squared edges. These are going to look a little bit older in appearance when those do arrive, but the back should remain pretty modern looking as they really changed up here for the 11 Pro. And this matte texture is just beautiful. It doesn't really get any fingerprints or anything like that. So the design is kind of a toss-up. If you want the square design, you might want to wait for the iPhone 12, but if you're fine with this, I think this is still a great looking phone here. Some still don't like this camera design up here, but I think at this point, many people are just kind of used to seeing this by now. So when it comes to the displays, well, these displays are still some of the best out there. This thing has a usable brightness of like 800 nits. It's so bright, it's insane. Like it will just blind you at night if you put this all the way at the top brightness, and it's so usable. So like, what I mean by this, in the sunlight, it's easy to see this phone. Indoors, it looks great. So pretty awesome displays here still on both of them. We do have dark mode as well as night shift and true tone. However, one thing you will notice is that they still retain the same notch from years ago. So if you're one of those person who was just like, I am not getting a new iPhone until they reduce or get rid of that notch altogether, then these displays, while they're still great quality, might not be your cup of tea. But overall, I really just love the brightness of them. They get really bright. So for me, HDR10 OLED, you know, super smooth feel, 120 hertz sensing, not ProMotion, but still gives it a smooth feel when going in and out of applications. These are the smoothest 60 hertz phones out there, in my opinion. So I still think that the displays are a definite go for these two phones. I'm not disappointed at all with these displays. Again, it's going to be nice to see ProMotion, but these are still very beautiful displays right here. Now, when it comes to their software, they're running iOS 13.5.1. As you can see right here, we are going to be getting more updates to these phones. And yes, if you're wondering software, they're both getting 14, of course. I think all the way back to the iPhone 6s is even getting iOS 14. So, you know, you have no issues to worry about when it comes to software support. One of the key reasons to get yourself an iPhone still, even though, you know, the home screens still look pretty similar to 10 years ago, is that they still get software support like no other out there. So definitely going to be good there. And we're going to look out for a lot of new features in 14, but I got to say, if you're looking for software, this is definitely still a good pick. Now, when it comes to performance, I actually have been having trouble even using all the power on the Apple A11. I cannot even get the iPhone 8 Plus to lag, the iPhone, 8 series to lag. And the A13, if you can't get the A11 to lag, how are we going to get the A13 to lag? Moral of the story, this thing right here, these phones are just absolute boss performers no matter what you're doing. And it really shows in the gaming department where they just kind of smoke the Android devices in performance. And a lot of the apps actually look quite nice. The iPhone series, when it comes to gaming, at least the Pro series, is one of the best at heat management. It doesn't really get that hot compared to some of the other iPhones. Now, don't get me wrong, it still does warm up, but it's better than the other iPhones when it comes to getting hot under intensive load. So performance, the only area where I would say that I've noticed a little bit of a hiccup on these phones is that they have 4 gigs of RAM. Sometimes if I close out applications and I come back, they're not going to do it now, but if I come back, sometimes they will close out applications. So that's just something that I would like to see in the next iPhone. So when it comes to storage, they have plenty of options for you. 256 gig I think is a sweet spot, like you see here on the 11 Pro Max. 64 is where it starts, but it can go all the way up to 512 gigabytes of storage. So you're going to be fine when it comes to a storage option here on both of these. Now, let's talk a little bit about the cameras. I feel like at this point, they need no introduction. It's been proven time and time again that these are some of the best, if not the best cameras on a smartphone today. And the reason why is because, you know, every time you take a photo, it just works and it gives you a great result, and you have no focusing issues whatsoever in video, whatsoever in photo. I mean, this is the easiest point and shoot professional result you're going to get on a phone today, I think. And then you don't have a pro mode, but you do have the ability to use some pro-like options, like change your aspect ratios, for example, over here. Or when you go into video, you have the ability to go over here and change the video settings. Now, of course, you could download a pro video camera on the App Store like Filmic Pro, for example, and then you get even more usage out of these. But what's really nice about these cameras is not only the back is great, the front is great as well at 12 megapixels, giving you 4K 60 video. It's such a great vlogging camera for a phone. You just have to find a way to get your audio going, like attaching a Rode mic, for example. Other than that, you can put your camera down and actually just use these phones. I've done it multiple times and nobody ever says anything. As a matter of fact, sometimes people say, hey, he's shooting on the iPhone. I didn't even notice until I seen it in the reflection. That's how good these cameras are. People don't really even notice or blink an eye. And one of the best things too is that the wide angle, the telephoto, and the regular angle, it's just such a smooth transition, whereas it looks kind of choppy on some other phones. You can't even tell sometimes you're switching between them, with the wide angle being one of the most useful new additions to the 11 Pro. Boom, right there. The next thing that's been great about the 11 Pro, and I don't think it's a reason you should wait for the 12, is the audio. Across the board, they all have the latest versions of iOS, and they swipe up from the bottom. I like that all of these, you can still see the battery percentage right up. They get plenty loud when it comes to the audio performance on both of them. I don't think this is going to be an area Apple's going to upgrade too much because they're already fantastic in the audio, but do keep that in mind. Either one you go with, you're getting phenomenal stereo speakers on both of them. And of course, you could attach AirPod Pros or AirPods if you want to do some wireless audio within your headphones. Also, of course, Bluetooth 5.0 means other headphones, no matter which headphones you're using, are going to be very quick to respond. Now, I want to talk about battery life because battery life was one of the key selling points on these phones, and I actually lost a couple percentage on my battery health for the 11 Pro Max 98, but it really hasn't affected any of the actual battery performance. These phones easily can get through a day with some of the biggest longest on-screen time I've seen in the industry. So yeah, battery life is fantastic. The 11 Pro, of course, smaller phone. It's a little bit worse than the 11 Pro Max, but for the size of these batteries, there's competitors that have bigger batteries that cannot touch these in the day-to-day usage. So I want to briefly touch on this phone calling experience and the reception. The reception on these hasn't been better than the competitors. What do I mean? Well, the Samsung Galaxy S20, for example, has 5G performance and holds on to signal strength a bit better. So these aren't the best when it comes to mobile performance, in my opinion, but they're still quite good. They're not going to be slow at all, but you might have some issues here and there depending on the area you're in. But phone call quality has been pretty excellent here, and great speaker phones for making those phone calls very loud when people are talking on the speakerphone on both of these. Last thing I want to mention is that the Face ID just got better on these phones. I don't care if I'm looking at a weird angle, it's just fast. And so Face ID is better on these than some of the older Face ID iPhones. At the end of the day, most of my reasons you've seen are still pretty positive about buying an 11 Pro Max or an 11 Pro. They're still very premium iPhones, and if you want a premium iPhone experience right now, I still think you can't go wrong with either of these. Here's the issue though. If you're the type of person who really cares about being on the latest and greatest thing, you're going to get a fourth camera more than likely on the next iPhone 12 Pro series. You're also going to probably get ProMotion displays on the next Pro series. You're also going to probably get 5G and maybe even a more modified square design. So if you gotta have the latest and greatest Apple, you're probably not wise to buy this right now because you're gonna invest a premium lump sum of money on these, and then you're gonna quickly wanna trade it out for the next one if you're always wanting to be on the latest and greatest. However, if you're needing an iPhone right now and you want the top tier of the iPhone experience and you don't care about upgrading in 3 months, you just want a premium iPhone now, these are still a definite recommendation as they got software support coming for years. The cameras, I'm still not craving any better of a camera. I love the cameras on these. But if you kind of want the 12, but you're thinking about this phone, but you still want to wait for the 12 series, you might want to just pick up an SE 2020 just to hold you over. So that's it for me. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on the 11 Pro, Pro Max, where they stand for you right now. Would you recommend somebody buy it? Let them know your thoughts about it in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well, and peace.